Hello, Jags, and welcome back to the first episode of this new school year of the RC Update. Woo.
Yay! Go Jags!
As we can already tell, there's a very important guest on our show today. Mr. Abner, the principal of Rock Canyon. Woo.
Thank you.
And we have a small live studio audience with us today to witness this great event. So I'll just start off asking, how's your day?
My day's been a little hectic, been a little crazy. I've been both here at Rock Canyon High School doing some staff appreciation to start off the day. Well, I always start off my day with some early morning emails and hear about things that maybe happened at Rock Canyon the day before that I wasn't aware of. And then this morning I had a great opportunity to go around, and my assistant picked up some donuts from Krispy Kreme, and we went around and just said thank you to staff, did a little bit of staff appreciation, just because this school year has been a challenging school year, to say the least, and so we wanted to show our appreciation for staff. So we did that, and then I hustled out of here where I was 1 hour late for what they call an Eastern Highlands Ranch regional meeting, and so that involved all of the principals, K-12 from the Rock Canyon High School feeder and the Highlands Ranch High School feeder, where we were basically getting updates from district leadership. And then I hightailed it out of there to be back here with you guys.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, all I've done today is an A-push test.
Yeah.
That's hard. I probably wouldn't have done as good as you did on that.
Oh, I don't know if I did good yet.
We'll start. We're going to do some general questions
Sure.
about you. So, to start, how would you describe yourself, just in general?
Oh, I wasn't expecting these kind of questions. This is
Getting
good.
philosophical.
Yeah, how would I describe myself? Well, I guess I would describe myself as like a father, a husband, as a hopefully a leader within this community which I live and raise my kids in, and also that I'm principal. I describe myself as a positive person. I tend to be an optimist, but I also tend to be realistic and look at things the way that they actually are and the way they appear. I would describe myself as friendly, jolly, hopefully kind to everybody that I come into contact with. I think that's, if I was introducing myself to someone, I'd start off by sharing who I am, my family, maybe my hobbies, interests, and then also what I do for a living, which is spend a lot of time with you guys at Rock Canyon High School.
Yeah, well, I think everyone at Rock Canyon agrees you're a great leader and a principal.
Thank you.
I
appreciate that.
So next question, just what type of music are you into? I want to know.
I like a lot of music, but I'd say my favorite is country music. So I'm a country western music fan. I watched the last part of the music awards that were on last night. And I don't know if you guys know this, but we have a former Jaguar, Ingrid Andress. She attended Rock Canyon High School, and she was up for an award. I don't know if she won because I tuned in late, and I haven't had the chance to go and research it yet. But she's a former Jag, and my understanding, she was here before me. This is my 10th year here. I think she graduated in 2010 or 11. I came in 2011. My understanding is that she was the kind of the center stage of Rock Canyon High School in all the theater performances. I believe she might have been involved in also some student media stuff that was here at Rock Canyon High School, same thing that you guys are involved in. And so I'm really proud of her. But, yeah, I like country music.
Yeah, we'll put in a little editor's note when writing the video, see what award she was
There you
nominated
go.
for and
Perfect.
if she won it or not.
Perfect.
So, we're in a high school. So, when you were in high school, for example, what was your favorite subjects? Were you in any clubs or sports? Just generally, how was your high school life?
Sure, yeah. High school was great. When I was in high school, things have changed a lot for you guys. Like, we have, we have like 21 or 22 AP courses in high school now. When I was in high school, there was like 1 or 2, I think. I took 1. My favorite classes, this is something that I've recognized as a principal and certainly as a teacher too. I think a lot of times when I ask students today, like, what are your favorite classes? A lot of time it has to do with who their favorite teacher is. That can tend to become their favorite class, and I was no different. And so Mr. Anderson was one of my favorite teachers, and he taught U.S. history, and it was one of my favorite classes. I absolutely loved the course. It was awesome. And then another one of my favorite teachers, and he was also one of my coaches, was Coach Dave Babcock, and he taught a class called Building Trades. And so we would actually leave school. This was for juniors and seniors only. We would leave school. We would go to a job site, and there was a morning class and an afternoon class, kind of like our fire science. and we would actually build a house from the start of the year to the end of the year, and then we'd have an open house, and we would sell that house. And then the profits would come back to the school. And so it was one of my favorite classes, and quite frankly, because he was one of my favorite teachers as well. And so teachers and coaches. And so Dave Babcock was my defensive line coach. I played football in high school, and I also did shot put and discus. Those were kind of my two sports. I grew up in Illinois, in the suburbs of Chicago.
Do you know, did the house turn out good?
Yeah, I'm really proud of it. I still drive by. I show my kids, like when we're back home, I'll say, "Hey guys, look I helped build that house right there." It was pretty awesome, and it led to a job for me that helped me get through my college days in terms of funding for my schooling in the summer times and on all my breaks. I went to Illinois State University after high school, and on my breaks, which is, by the way, known as an education school, but I would come back and I would work as a plumber. And so when I was working in the building trades class between my junior year and my senior year, that summer I started working with the plumber who came in, the professional, who came in to kind of teach us how to do things, and also we helped him. I started working for him, and his name was Dave Schillinger. I worked for this company called Herons Plumbing and Electric, and I did that all the way through high school, and then or through my last 2 years of high school, all the way through college. And then when I was a teacher, I would continue to work for them on the weekends, evenings, breaks, and things like that. So it's kind of my second job when I started off teaching, which a lot of new teachers need more than one job to survive.
Go on to the next question.
Yep.
Do you have a favorite vacation you've been on?
Ooh, that's tough. I've really enjoyed a variety of different vacations with my family. We tend to go on a vacation every summer. I enjoy the beach in the summertime, going to a beach. We've been to Pawleys Island. We've been out to the west coast to like Huntington Beach and did surf camp with our kids and all this kind of stuff. I'd say our favorite place that we've kind of returned to as a beach place is called Siesta Key, and it's a barrier island just off the coast of Sarasota, Florida. And it's beautiful sand, and it's beautiful water, and just a nice place. So we tend to go there. And then we love escaping to the mountains for skiing, hiking, biking, all the stuff, fishing, all the stuff that Colorado has to offer.
Yeah, definitely. I'm hoping the ski season is open this year.
Me too. We ski. Where do you guys ski?
I go to Breckenridge.
Breckenridge?
I
Okay.
don't ski.
Don't ski? No. Do you like the mountains?
I do like the mountains, though.
Yeah.
I go up a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so nice up there. It's just a different kind of, it feels different once you get to the mountains, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And we ski at Copper Mountain is where we go. Yeah.
All right. Want to get the next question?
Yeah, of course. So what is one thing that when you're just down or if you're having a bad day would just instantly make it better, turn into a good day?
I think it's my kids can tend to do that for me. They can kind of center me or bring me back, and I listen to their funny stories or them joking around or things like that. Another thing is it typically like the things that could bring you down on the job as a principal tend to happen like in your office. And as soon as you walk out in the hallway or spend time with you guys in a classroom or do this kind of thing, you immediately get uplifted because it brings back to the reason why you do this job. It's not to resolve a complaint or a concern or to listen to someone who's really disgruntled about something, but it's to be there for you guys and do the best job that we can for you guys. Which kind of brings me back, you're asking me about favorite class, favorite teachers. It's one thing that I talk to our teachers and our staff about all the time is I ask them to think back about their favorite teacher or the reason they became a teacher, and to remember that because that's exactly who they are for you guys. We've all had that, and so it's important to realize that the relationships that are formed in the classroom is the most important thing before you teach the curriculum. So there's like this old phrase, kids don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so we use that a lot when we talk about things.
Yeah, well, that's definitely why we think you're such a good principal.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Well, you do so much good for us. You do a good job.
I appreciate that, guys.
Speaking of principal,
it's easy because you guys are great.
Well, now we're just gonna. I guess you already kind of answered most of our questions about being a principal, but let me see if any of these you haven't answered already. I guess what motivates you to keep being a principal?
You guys.
Yeah.
The students. Quite frankly, graduation every year, like that the month of May, while it is the busiest and craziest month, it's also, in my opinion, the best month. We give out awards. We recognize students from 9th to 12th grade about all the awesome things that they do. I love like JAG of the Month. I love JAG of the Year. We do our honors night. We do our senior celebration. We do our sunset dinner and all of that stuff. We have prom. We have after prom, which I know is more in April. But once prom hits, that season right there, and when we're kind of, saying goodbye to our seniors at the moving up assembly, and everyone's kind of taking their next place for the next year, that's really a heartfelt moment for me. And I think one of the most touching things that this school does, which was a tradition before I arrived, is the staff lining up to say goodbye to the seniors when the seniors walk out of the school for the last official day of school for them, or their last day. I think that's a pretty cool event. It always touches me. It chokes me up because it gets back to that whole heart of building relationships with people. Would
you say that's your favorite event at the school, or do you have a different
That
one?
particular moment right there is really tough to beat for me. I'd say the only thing that kind of conjures the same emotion and feelings would be the closing assembly at Wish Week. I'd say those two events for me are two of the coolest kind of things to be around, to see as a total student body.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're going to get a bit more serious. I'll let
All
Jack
right.
ask the first question.
All right, here come the hardballs.
Oh, yeah.
There aren't too many of them.
So, what were some of the less evident impacts of COVID on the school year? So, how has COVID impacted you, the people around you?
I'd say the thing that probably the thing that's been most challenging, and I don't know if it's evident or not, or how evident it is for you, but each school year, our staff is a really high-performing staff. I feel like they do a great job, and that's my responsibility as principal, is to make sure that we're doing everything we can to hire the very best people to be with you guys. Because while you and I are doing this podcast right now, there's 2,300 other kids, or you could say 1,100 who are here today and 1,100 at home who are with a teacher right now, right? Or working on coursework or doing something along those lines. So I see that the hiring and the management of staff is the most important thing that I do here at this school. And so one of the most important things for me is that our staff feels valued, loved, and cared for, because that's what ultimately allows them to do the very best work that they can do. And so it's very difficult. The difficult thing with COVID is it's this outside force that I'm constantly battling from a lot of different perspectives to make sure that our teachers feel valued, cared for, and supported. Their job this year has been more challenging than it has probably ever been for them by teaching in the hybrid model. I think the hybrid model is one of the most challenging things to do as a teacher, because you're teaching both in-class students and you're teaching students who are at home or doing some sort of like virtual lesson, and try to keep up with that. And you couple that with what I'd always heard in the past was our 7-period day was our least favorite day by staff and students, right? And what happened? We have that day every day now, right?
Yeah.
So we put the most challenging schedule with this. And so our teachers are challenged. I think our teachers, just after 4 or 5 weeks of school, are already feeling stressed and kind of how they feel in the middle of April, right? Like, we need this school year to be over, kind of a thing. They have some of those types of feelings. And so it was a big impetus behind bringing the donuts this week. We're also going to do like a pizza and salad lunch for staff next Wednesday on the SAT testing day. But I think the biggest challenge for me as principal is to take care of staff.
Yeah.
Also keeping up with all of these, like, who's been exposed, who has a parent maybe who was exposed or tested positive, or trying to track all these things down and to stay on top of all of that is extremely challenging too. And we, with COVID, you have all of these different viewpoints. You have staff and students who are extremely nervous about potentially, getting sick. They might be compromised themselves, or have people that are in their household that are compromised, and they're nervous and worried for the right reasons, right? And then you have other people who are really, not as concerned and would be okay, like, with no masks or, full in person. And so people have varied opinions, and it's really difficult sometimes to navigate those different opinions for all of us, I think, and to know what really is right.
Yeah.
And I think my opinion sometimes can change from one week to the next week, or, I think we all kind of swing through that based on what we're hearing in media and other places.
Yeah. I definitely think we've been doing better than some other schools.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But sadly, the bell ringing is the sound that we need to end our podcast.
Oh no!
But
already, it's
really-
gone so fast.
Yeah,
and so
it
well.
has. But really
Yep,
quickly,
yep.
Jack, tell them our tradition at the podcast.
Yep.
So I don't know if you know, but at the end we end it with a pun because
Okay.
funny. Gotta end it with a joke.
Yes.
All right. So, why did the clock go to the principal's office?
Ooh, something about being late to school, maybe.
Because he was talking too much.
Ah, good, very good, guys, very good. But
Well, that wraps up our first episode, and a pretty big episode, if I say so,
Yeah.
of the RC update. So,
well,
thank
thanks
you
for
so
having
much.
me, guys. I need to get you on a podcast and learn a little bit more about you guys someday.
All
course,
right,
yeah.
sounds good.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys. Go Jags. Remember, it's a great day to be a Jaguar.